Sometimes you keep the camera on because you never know what's going to happen. Now, if Al came and grabbed my hat, that would be pretty awesome, sort of. We were back in the back. I have an old mailbox that I just leaned up against something. And I'm looking at the fig tree, and all of a sudden something jumps out, shoots out. It was a bird. There's a bird's nest in the mailbox, which I didn't know. So that happened. Let's remember to, one, always be ready to give a reason why we have hope in Jesus and in the future, and we're not anxious like everybody else is, or like half the country is. Because, I mean, what's the worst case scenario? You die and go to heaven. Wait, you die and then you go to heaven, because going to heaven wouldn't be the worst case scenario, now would it? Dying would be the worst case scenario. No, the worst case scenario would be dying and not being ready and going to hell. That would be the worst case scenario. So I guess the idea is, what could happen? You get sick, you die. Yeah, but as long as you're ready, at least it's going to have a happy ending, right? So let's always be ready to say, what? Dog, I thought I put you in the house. You could be picked up by an owl. Let's always be ready to give a reason why we have hope. And let's always be ready in case the owl comes and picks us up. Or the bear, whatever. Someone mentioned, could 100 men defeat a gorilla? And the person so it's a question that's been posed. And this Christian podcaster, I think it was, I can say it. It was Michael Knowles. I think he said for sure that the gorilla would kill the men. And then he said, I think it depends on if the men have weapons, which of course then that would give mankind its advantage, which is using its brain. But I still think that 100 men could defeat a gorilla. Because, and again, obviously you'd have to, this isn't very Christian, but just on the what do you call it? Just for the, scenario, just for the exercise, just for the mental exercise of the whole thing, it would seem to me if it's always like Kung Fu or these movies, these karate movies, they always come at you one at a time. If 6 guys comes on at you at the same time, okay, if 6 guys attack you, at the same time, I think Bruce Lee's going to have a hard time with that. But they always attack you one at a time. So why, if I think if you have 100 men, if you just swarm the gorilla, sure, the first 10 or 15 are going to get swatted or their heads are going to get bit off, or not bit off, but bitten off by the gorilla's mouth, those teeth. But I mean, once you start packing around, even if you died at his feet, now he can't move. I mean, I think you could. I think 100 men could defeat a gorilla for sure. How big is a gorilla? I mean, we're not talking King Kong here, right? We're talking about a normal gorilla. What is a gorilla? Let's see, probably maybe 7. Are they super big? I mean, they're big. Are they like a football player, or are they like not even human size? Like, are they 8 feet tall? I think I can't ask Siri now. Anyway, yeah, I think 100 men could defeat one gorilla. I'm thinking they're like, even if they're 7 feet tall and weigh 350 pounds, or 400, even if they're 7 foot tall and weigh 400 pounds, I still think that 40 men all grabbing hold of a monkey at the same time, and the other 60 start pummeling, whatever. I mean, well, how do you attack a gorilla? You can't really punch him, and we certainly can't bite him because we're not made that way. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, that's a terrible thing to think about. So let's remember to always have a reason for our faith, to be ready when death comes. If you're like, what the heck was that? If you're like the first 30 people who have to attack the gorilla, you're dead. I mean, yeah, but the other 70 might accomplish. So let's always be ready, and please pray for the souls in purgatory.